Hey there, happy holidays everyone. My name is Darren Sutton, and on behalf of Perfect Game TV, welcome to Perfect Game Stories. Think about athletes and their future, those that want to play college baseball or softball or even Major League Baseball. When we watch them closely and the recruiters and scouts that keep an eye on them, we're always talking about metrics. What's that exit velocity? What's the velocity, the launch angle? Tell me everything you can about the foot speed. Understand this, when those scouts and recruiters get together and they talk in private, the one thing they really watch closely, what kind of a teammate are you? How do you handle adversity? Where is your character? What's your work ethic like when no one is watching? That's the story of Perfect Game Stories. Getting to know these great athletes, who they are, how they have evolved to this stage in their unique careers at all stages of development. From a heartwarming family story of a young 26 and his older brother battling cerebral palsy, a 2023 softball player who has had to overcome obstacle after obstacle on her way to becoming one of the best players in the country, a walk and talk with the number 5 player overall in the class of 22. So that becomes a draft preview, and then we'll go behind the scenes. This past July's draft, we went into the home of 2 first-round picks. What are the experiences like? This show is going to be incredible. But let's start this show with the story of a man who may be the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 draft. When you talk with Buford, Georgia's Dylan Lesko, he'll share with you, my favorite players are Walker Buehler, and of course he's committed to go to Vanderbilt, and Zach Greinke. There within lies the combination of the gifted talent. A little bit of old soul in him to watch the craftiness of Greinke. He still is a pitcher that pitches in, and talking about Lesko, and does so with authority. He has earned his stripes. Our own Danny Wexelman, just prior to his 2021 junior season, got to know him even better. Here's the journey and the explosiveness of Dylan Lesko.
I try to just be like a humble guy on the field. I mean, even when I'm doing good, I try not to show it. I try not to show up the other team. I really try to just be a nice dude on the field. Even when I'm beating them or something like that.
Anytime we get some extra time with Dylan Lesko, I will always take it. Dylan, you and I go way back. I've known you for a few years now. You weren't this tall, you weren't this filled out, you weren't this strong. So let's go all the way back 3 years ago. What has changed about you head to toe?
Really just my mindset back then. I mean, I was 14. I mean, baseball is just another thing I just enjoyed doing. I really didn't think of it as a, career really at that point. Like, I knew I was good for playing in Georgia, but not the whole country, and then being selected as one of the top players in the country to play in that, I think it really made me realize that I'm one of the best and I could really do this.
What did you do this offseason? Because you look bigger, you look stronger. How did you get to that point?
This was the first year I decided not to play football. I mean, I really loved it, but I felt like it was best for me, so I took the time off. I didn't play this off-season baseball either, so I had all that extra time. I took a month or 2 off of throwing and really hit a long tossing program hard to try to strengthen my arm and everything and get that stronger. Hit the weight room hard, doing that and speed and agility, just becoming stronger and more athletic, and then also saw a soft tissue therapist to work on my body and just make sure my body was right and everything like that.
Let's talk about your pitching. What do you throw now? What am I going to see from you on the mound, and what have you added in the last year?
I have the fastball, circle changeup, and then curveball and slider. And I really think my curveball and slider has really developed over the last year. I still have my changeup that I love going to. I feel like it's my best pitch.
Last night at the Perfect Game High School Showdown, I saw that, and it is lights out. I feel like, first of all, you had a crowd around you behind the backstop. I know you see it, you're not paying attention to it, but the noises that everyone is making watching that pitch is incredible. Does that crowd fuel you at all? Everyone's coming to watch you pitch.
I think it does, because I feel like in a game where like not many people are there and it's not the best team, you may just get a little lazy and stuff. So when everyone's there and it's a good game, I feel like it really puts me in the zone. And I mean, I don't think about it, but like I know in the back of my mind it's there and I know it.
You've had so much attention on you for so long now. How do you manage the expectations that people have of you? You're still just a teenager.
You really have to be strong and really stay focused on everything you do. And when things go bad, you got to stay positive, because this is a game of failure and you're going to fail more than you succeed. I'm really just a normal kid. I mean, I may have all the spotlight, but I'm just like everyone else. I still have to go out and play the game. Still have to do the little things right and still have to just be myself and have fun.
Hopefully we don't go 3 more years without catching up. Appreciate you.
Of course.
You know, you look at Lesko, and as I said earlier, he was a young man coming to PG events doing just about everything. Pitching, catching, playing anywhere you needed him on the infield. Very much like Conor Griffin, a very well-rounded athlete in the class of 2025 in Mississippi. As a matter of fact, the top player in that class. How high up in that class? Jeremy Brown, the great writer and scout, made it clear. At this age group, I've never scouted anyone like him. He is without peer amongst that 14U age group. Understand, Jeremy has seen many that have gone on to be first-round draft picks. We hopped inside the batting cage with Conor Griffin, who, by the way, can throw 91 on the mound as well, but we're talking hitting. Hey, Conor, how do you do what you do?
I'm Conor Griffin, and this is how I do what I do. So in the 13U Select Fest, in my swing, I kept my hands closer to my head right here, and had my barrel up, and I got jammed a lot. So I was like, I got to change something before I go to the 14U and compete against better guys. So what I did was I got off the plate a little bit, and then I got my hands farther back on my shoulder, like right here. And so when I load, I want to bring my hands back a little more. At the 13 Select Fest, I had them right here, and I just go from there. Which, if I do that, my barrel's not in the zone as long as when I get my hands right here, and I bring my hands back and go straight to the ball. When I don't have 2 strikes, I'll stand off the plate a little bit because my arms are pretty long, being 6'3", so when I swing, I can reach a outside fastball. With 2 strikes, I like to get on the plate a little bit, and then I'll choke up just a little bit, not too much, and I'll shorten up my swing. Without 2 strikes, I pick up my leg a good bit. With 2 strikes, I'm on the plate, and I'm like just barely pick it up. My hips, when I swing, they're real quick. And the way I got them real quick, I use a core velocity belt. And it's like a strap that goes around you, and there's this band that pulls on you. So when you're hitting in the cage, you're taking BP, and you're pulling against the resistance. And you take that off, and then your hips are so quick, and then you'll eventually get used to it, turning your hips, which will create power as well. Best advice I've ever got was just crush the ball and run hard. I feel like it's just being simple. You got to keep it simple when you're up there hitting. So just hit the fastball, don't miss a fastball, and drive it to the gaps and run.
A lot of fun to be around Conor Griffin. Very confident, very down to earth. And oh, by the way, for you young people, a great follow on TikTok. 77,000 followers to be exact. When we come back, the touching story of Jakob Wagner and his older brother Eddie. This is Perfect Game Stories.
It started with a simple idea: to break what the game knows, to evolve the standard. It's time to revolutionize defense. Printed in 4D for a breakthrough in technology. Ultra lightweight, resilient, form fit, game ready and pro tested. Designed for a revolution, engineered for defense. The Rev 1X.
We welcome you back to some of the great stories in 2021. This is Perfect Game Stories, and let's talk about Floridian Jakob Wagner, the gifted young man who we got to know at Perfect Game's 13U National Showcase in July. A young man who, with immense talent, has stepped forward in a big-time way in PG events. Take a look at some of these numbers. 34 innings, 41 strikeouts as a pitcher, an on-base percentage of .504, slugging over 1,000 in 103 at-bats. But he separates himself in a very unique way from his teammates and those that he plays against. It's depth and it's empathy. You see, his older brother Eddie, who is at just about every event, has cerebral palsy, and that has taken his journey much deeper than he ever thought it would. He loves his brother, though, and all that comes along with their partnership.
I'm Jakob Wagner from Cape Coral, Florida, and I'm a shortstop. There's a lot of great kids out here. I want to be the best, definitely. Something I worked on in the last year to get better was bat speed. Me and my dad always go to the cages. We have a little thing that goes on the end of the bat, and it tells you our bat speed. We always work on that every time. My dad always pushes me to the most, and my mom always takes care of me. My brother, Eddie, he's always there for me, always comes to my games and everything. He's amazing, definitely. He has cerebral palsy, so he sits in a wheelchair pretty much like all day, or he sits on the floor. He can't walk or talk, and he just moves around by crawling. He's taught me a lot of things, definitely to stay positive, make sure you know you can get through everything. That's probably the biggest thing that he's ever taught me. Every time I do good, I got a nice hit, he's always clapping. I just know he's having a great time watching me. It makes me feel really good. The first video that we've made together, we were on the Little League baseball field, and my mother couldn't hit a ground ball to me, and so we decided to get Eddie, and he would roll the balls to me, and I would field the ground ball and throw it to first base. He was happy the whole time, smiling, laughing after every throw. It was great to see him that excited. You're definitely gonna see positive energy coming out of me, not getting down on myself that easy. Definitely my brother always keeps me motivated, always keeps me happy. As long as he's at all of my games, he's just perfectly fine where he is and how he is. He's amazing. Wouldn't change nothing about him. I hope to continue playing baseball for Eddie, definitely make him very happy. First, I want to be a Major League Baseball player, but second, I want to be a physical therapist. I always want to help kids like Eddie because they deserve better than what they have right now. They're going through a tough time pretty much their whole life, and anything just to make it better for him is amazing. As long as he's at all of my games, I know a lot holds for a bright future for both of us.
By the way, the heartbeat of the family is Mom Mateen, who was a gymnast in the Czech Republic where she grew up, and Dad Robert. What a strong family. Speaking of strength, we're going to shift gears to softball, and when we come back, it's the story of Tallulah Pascucci. Guts, grit, and a great bat once she digs into that batter's box. Perfect Game Softball is front and center when we come back on PG Stories of the Year 2021.
Try to get mad, I'ma zip right past. Drip all on my swag. Why you trying to size me up? You don't wanna try your luck.
I'm here to hopefully get seen by someone, and that's really exciting to me.
Perfect Game is really big into baseball, and so it's cool to see that like softball gets to be a part of these cool experiences too. Girls want to get recruited, girls want to have exposure, they want to play at a higher level, the next level, and if we continue to do this, I feel like it would be really good for the girls.
Perfect Game's first giant jump into the deep end with softball. They want to provide the same benefits that for a generation baseball athletes have been provided, those same benefits that have found their way to hundreds of thousands of college scholarships and more than 1,500 players that have gone out of PG baseball to the big leagues. It was a combine in Overland Park, Kansas, and in that gathering of great athletes, we got to know the heart and soul of the sport, including one of the great names of 2023, Tallulah Pascucci, a gutsy and strong athlete out of Arkansas, a Southern Miss commit. And part of her story that makes it unique, and the toughness comes into play, is that in 2019, she was hit by a pitch, 70 miles an hour, caused a broken arm. She finished the game. That KC Peppers team for which she plays, the legend just continues to grow and grow. Here's a little bit more about the upsides and the challenges of Tallulah Pascucci.
Softball is the best sport because there's so much passion in it. I love the big moments and I love having that pressure on me. I've been playing softball since the day I was born. Whenever I get in the box, I just visualize up the middle, and then that usually keeps my swing how it needs to be. And then I take a deep breath to calm me down, and I just look down in the zone. Whenever I go up, I know that if I'm going up the middle and I've worked this hard, I'm gonna be successful. Playing up, I chose to do that because I knew if I wanted to play D1, I would have to see more competition. And seeing it earlier, it would make me grow earlier. And the earlier you grow, the more you'll grow because I'm so used to it now. I've seen people like Jordy Ball. I've played with people like Haley Harper. Like I played with people that have gone big D1 and they've been successful. Well, all these years, I've used them to like learn from or grow and get better. I broke my arm a couple years ago, and then I was in and out of the hospital all summer because of an autoimmune condition. And I came back, and then it was slow in the beginning. But my whole life, I've like seen my mom overcome so much, and I've like seen her do it with such strength, and it just showed me to do the same. I chose Southern Miss because I just felt so comfortable straight away. They're so passionate about it. So that just like made me really excited, and I really wanted to be a part of that. It's more than playing for myself, like I'm playing for the rest of them, and it just pushes me to be better, and it pushes me to a different level than I could myself.
Tui. That's the nickname she goes with, Tui. I love it. By the way, Dad Richard played college baseball at St. Joseph's, and Mom is Melissa, again, for that tough KC Peppers travel team. Imagine being a high school prospect and your next step when you're asked about what do you hope to ultimately accomplish, and your answer, make it to the Hall of Fame, baseball's Hall of Fame. When we come back, Texan Jayson Jones walks and talks in the outfield with me at a very recent Perfect Game event. That is his goal. The conversation is next on Perfect Game Stories. Baseball is competitive, often called a game of failure. Millions play, thousands compete. Only a handful reach the top. The odds don't matter to you. You have the goals, the drive, and a dream of playing at the next level. We've helped those that made it be seen. Now, it's your turn. Let our experts train you the right way to stand out, win over the critics, prove you have what it takes to succeed, and provide a foundation of info to those that matter. Become tomorrow's athlete today with Perfect Game Development. Personalized training plus development driven by science and AI. Download the app and get started. Perfect Game Development. your best step to the next level. Welcome back to Perfect Game Stories. In this special show, looking back at some of the great conversations and features that we have been able to put together with unique athletes in the year 2021. Like Texan and number 5 player in the country, Jayson Jones. This talented athlete went to Perfect Games National Showcase in Florida at Tropicana Field and was incredible. He was a Perfect Game All-American, and deservedly so. We caught up in Jupiter, Florida at Perfect Games World Wood Bat Association World Championship. For a young man who is expected to be a first-night selection in the 2022 MLB Draft, he is very, very down to earth. His perspective is the right one. His goals are high, but his feet are firmly planted on the ground. Here's a conversation with the young man that I really enjoyed having.
Oh my God, off the bat, Jayson Jones.
Loaded.
Down the line.
He has some of the more advanced mechanics in this entire draft class.
Perfect Game All-American, Jayson Jones. I'm going to start where I always like to start with you. What's the latest with your parents? Tell me what they're up to. Tim and Kim, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what's going on with Tim and Kim.
Oh, man, they're just helping me achieve my dreams. Day in, day out, getting me whatever I want, making sure my grades are right, keeping me straight in the classroom, and pushing me to where I can ultimately reach my goals. And they've been doing that ever since I was a little kid, so they're actually more harder on me now than they ever have been. So, I mean, I love them for that.
I'm not going to let you just throw out the words goals and dreams without telling me what your goals and dreams are. It's one thing to say what you just said, but be specific. What are your goals and dreams?
I would say my biggest dream ever since I was 3 years old is I want to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I was raised by one of those. You know that, right? I was raised by a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So what do you think it takes to get there?
Man, loving the game is the #1 piece. Preparation is key, I would say, is that when you're prepared, your confidence. And confidence also is another one that those guys had stepping on and off the field. And like I said, play the game like it was whenever you were a kid.
Right.
Just love the game every single day like you're playing Little League ball. I feel like Ken Griffey, I've always noticed him, is he loved the game, the kid, man. He absolutely loved the game, and I've noticed that with all the other guys too, is that they just played out there to have fun, man. Just have fun.
So as Jayson the boy becomes Jayson the man,
yes, sir.
What part of your game has changed the most and improved the most?
I would say my mental game. I would say that I'm starting to pay more attention into that, more attention to detail, because I never realized how important it was. It's a grind, man. This summer was a long summer. I had a lot of games, traveling everywhere, a few weeks home, maybe a week or two home. So it's like having that mental strength as to where your body is tired and you can't go anymore, but if you're mentally strong, you can get that extra edge and still be able to play at your full potential.
What's this year going to be like for you? A lot of phone calls,
right?
A lot of visits, a lot of pressure. How are you going to handle all that?
I mean, I feel like my dad, he's put a lot of pressure on me ever since I was a little kid. Like, always held me to
right?
Great kind. Always held me to a higher standard than, always had high expectations for me. So I feel like there won't be any much of a difference. I'm just gonna go out there and play the game like I'm a kid again. Just going out there having fun day in, day out. Get to play with all these great people, great guys. Get to meet guys like my boy Darren.
Don't put me on that list. I'm too old, man.
Great
too
guys.
Old and not influential. That's my game. But the people, that's interesting to talk about the people. The diversity of the people that you meet, whether it be younger or older teammates, whether it be young, talented players from the suburbs, African-American players. Do you enjoy the diversity of this game?
I feel like that's the best thing about this game, is to meet new people from different backgrounds and build up relationships with them to where they'll last you a lifetime.
It's unique. For you to come across like this, that confident, that polished, that 4.0 GPA,
yes, sir.
You mentioning your prayer time and the values to manage in your life,
yes, sir.
You've got to understand that you are unique, you are uncommon. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So expound upon that.
Like I said, I don't want to let myself get too high or too low. Like, know that I'm just like everybody else. I'm just out here just living life, and fortunately enough, I've been blessed enough to play the game that I love. So hopefully I can play that game for a long time. Ultimately, man, like I said, everybody is the same exact person. Nobody's higher than anybody else. We're all in this life.
Again, Tim and Kim, man. Let's end it right there. Kudos to them.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, pal.
Thank you so much.
Hey, football, you lost him, by the way. You just flat lost him, the sport of football. His first couple of years, he had 2,200 yards and 33 touchdowns as a freshman. This young man was an incredible quarterback, Jayson Jones. Sorry, football, you lost him. When we come back, an opportunity to sit down with the top catcher in the 2022 class, a record-setting 13-year-old, in our exclusive behind-the-scenes, all-access draft day experience with two PG All-Americans on the biggest day of their young lives. You're watching Perfect Game Stories.
Custom gear is important to me because it just represents who you are. Me as a kid, I remember I used to always look up at all the big leaguers at the time and see what they would wear. You couldn't get that stuff, in the stores. So now being able to customize basically everything I wear on the field, and it's one-on-one, I think that's just something special. I worked really hard to get here, and we get to do some swag and put your own flavor onto the field and show people, who you really are. Customs are one-on-one, just like me. G-form, made for the moment.
Welcome back to Perfect Game Stories, the journeys of some of the unique and gifted athletes in North America in the year 2021. Baseball and softball for sure. Timing is pretty good, by the way. Buster Posey, brand new retired, future Hall of Fame catcher of the San Francisco Giants, and recently minted Perfect Game Hall of Famer, ties in with our next guest. You see, Posey did such great things in San Francisco, and not too far away in the state capital, Malcolm Moore was watching his every move. Moore, the gifted, now Stanford commit, and Perfect Game All-American, is on his way. I had a conversation with him at Perfect Game's National Showcase, and my goodness, was it an insightful conversation. A conversation, well, let's just get into the feels. You'll see.
Honestly, the number one thing for me as a player is my hard work ethic, but there's nothing about baseball that isn't fun, and without that fun, it would be a stressful game and everybody would just crack under pressure.
So I'm going to argue that the mind of a Stanford baseball player and the mind of a Stanford student is one that can take in a lot with a large capacity. You undersold your academics to me by saying, look, I just work really hard. But does that help you when you catch? Because for my money, catchers' minds are the busiest during the game. Does that help you, your mental capacity, when you catch?
100%. Being able to control the staff and also focus on myself when I'm in the game while having that level head is just really important to me, and without it, I don't know.
You wouldn't know much.
Yeah.
You'd be lost, and they'd look to you for help, and you wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
I know the modern catcher is not your dad or me. It's not. It was so different, the position. You're not flexible now, you're out. You won't be able to catch successfully. So how have you expanded your world as it pertains to flexibility?
Honestly, I just leave that in the hands of my gym. I go to Hyperthrive Athletics in Sacramento, California, and it's the Grinstein brothers. My gym does a fantastic job of combining the weight side and the flexibility side. And honestly, having my mom as a yoga teacher, being able to just do yoga in my house is outstanding for me.
That's epic. Kind of explain to me that even if you haven't had a hard lift, you haven't had a practice or a game, you make sure you find yourself in front of the tee. And what does that look like when you find yourself in front of the tee?
Going out there isn't only just because I'm trying to get better, it's just releasing my thoughts in my mind. Setting up the tee in the backyard, putting on some music, and just getting my feels right, which will translate to what I'll do in the game.
I love that, getting your feels right. That's not necessarily video then, is that what you're saying?
No, I've tried like Blast Motion and those other video things, and you could attach the feels to the metrics, but feels is what's most important for me.
Gosh, I love that. So the other thing that I know where you kind of escape the world, the academic pressures, the baseball pressures, the life pressures, is disappearing into nature just a little bit. And you've taken it as far as to share that not only do I disappear, I meditate a little bit. So kind of let me crawl inside your head, take me on one of those hikes. What goes on?
The morning air is just unmatched in California, and going out there and being able to just unplug, go out and just walking around in the beautiful area that I live in is really important because it helps me meditate and release.
Do you ever have aha moments because everything else is quiet?
Definitely. There's nothing I'm thinking about, and having that freedom of thought really just allows you to have those aha moments and realize things that you otherwise wouldn't have.
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Billy and Tracy, his mom and dad, and remember, this is a 4.5, a working 4.5 GPA and a full course load his senior year. A complete young man, certainly. When you think about Perfect Game, founded in 1995 by Jerry Ford, who had given his life to baseball and now is giving a lot of it to softball, the one thing he knew, that by the time he said goodbye, as he edges close to retirement now, he wanted to make sure that those who couldn't otherwise be able to play the sport of baseball have that opportunity. And this year, the impact was felt with a partnership with Rawlings and many great partners with gloves and bats and balls at clinics around the country put together by Perfect Game. But it all started where Perfect Game started, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A dozen plus MLB alumni getting together with the community. Scholarships, education, and a whole lot of joy.
Our founder, Jerry Ford, had a vision on wanting to have a mechanism with which to give back for all the success that the platform of PG for-profit has found. So Perfect Game Cares was created as that mechanism.
Wherever we'd go, I'd always be drawn to the worst part of town. I just had this desire to get a feel for how everybody lived. It made me think, how the heck did anybody get out of this situation? And so I got to thinking, well, there's got to be something that can be done about this. And that's where we came up with the idea of Perfect Game Cares.
To hear about the Perfect Game Cares program and how they're going to help a lot of underprivileged kids is pretty special. Something that started as in such infancy stages 25 years ago has grown to an international platform. It's not anything short of amazing, but it's all because of his passion and what he saw, a desire to help his kids in his area.
It's not all about teaching them sports. It's about teaching kids from the inside out. It's always good, like I said, to reach back to help somebody climb that ladder that you have climbed.
I see myself in the kids. I grew up in similar situations. I was able to make it out of those situations, realize my dreams. I just feel like it's a part of my life to give back and share those experiences, the things that I utilize to overcome those things and be a success.
There's nothing greater than seeing kids know that in their heart of hearts, they may want to be a professional sports athlete, they maybe want to become a teacher, fireman, and they're getting these options. So Perfect Game Cares is giving these kids the opportunities to succeed in more ways than one, and not just sports, but however throughout life, and they're doing a great job.
There's a lot of kids that don't have that guidance or leadership sometimes, and what Perfect Game Cares does is we go out there and try to give them that assistance and let them know that we're here for them.
You know, I truly believe that if you have someone that believes in you and you have the resources needed, you can do a lot in this world.
The Perfect Game Cares Foundation. With help, children can rise.
Seeing it firsthand, the joy on the faces of the young athletes and their families, and some who may have never even understood what playing baseball is all about, but give them a bat, give them a ball, give them a field to run around on. I've seen it. I've seen the impact firsthand. Thumbs up to Perfect Game Cares. You saw Luke Collier in that piece, longtime major leaguer and now a great ambassador to the game of baseball. He also is part of Major League Baseball's Breakthrough Series, and one of the young men who took advantage of that is Mississippi's Kevin Roberts. As the game grows amongst the African-American athlete, Kevin Roberts of Mississippi hopes to be right alongside, and Michigan's Reginald Sharpe does as well. It's Reggie Sharp, it's Kevin Roberts, and we're growing the game on Perfect Game Stories, the 2021 edition. We'll go all the way back to the first part of the year when we got to know these two young men.
Francisco Lindor is headed to New York.
New York is great. It's a place where you can be whatever you want to be.
Every day I challenge myself to break down barriers.
See
Seeing others live their passion, it makes me push harder in all that I'm doing.
Man, that dude Lindor is fearless.
I'm always trying to push myself further as an athlete.
My style is limitless, just like my city.
Confidence, passion, commitment, style. That's Queens for you.
We welcome you back to Perfect Game Stories, the journeys of some of the great baseball and softball players at the amateur level in the year 2021. Let's go all the way back to the very first part of the year in January, just a couple of days after hooking up with a gifted 2024 Reggie Sharp out of Michigan. You see, recruiting has changed forever, and coaches like Erik Bakich will tell you that. The Michigan head coach who landed Reggie Sharp realizes a lot of it's done now through Zoom or through FaceTime. Let me walk you through the locker room and show you on my telephone what it looks like. It doesn't matter to Reggie Sharp. When we connected with him, he was excited to be getting out more and thrilled to be a Michigan Wolverine, no matter how the two connected. Here's a story of the gifted athlete.
The virtual tour of Michigan, I FaceTimed Bakich, and the first thing that he did was he showed me around the meeting area and everything where they do their team meetings and the offices and everything like that. And he walked me onto the field and he went straight to shortstop, and he's like, "This is where you'll be playing," or like, "Doesn't this view look great?" or something. And then he took me inside to his office first, and that is where I talked to Bakich, and he ended up offering me there on the spot, and I said yes. It's the best feeling of my life. That was the best time of my life, and it was the day before my birthday, so it was a great birthday present. Turning 15, to be committed, have a huge weight off my shoulders, because everything before that was kind of like, what am I going to do to get committed? What am I going to do to maximize like my potential and all that? It's still maximizing my potential, but now I can really focus on being smoother and maximizing everything without having to worry about where I'm going to school. I already know where I'm going to school, and I can focus on different things now. So 2021, with the coronavirus, I hope that it'll go away as much as it can, and we can get back on the field and play as much as we can. And I just want to play as much as I can, honestly, because this past year I have not been able to play, and it's been very disappointing, and it's been sad to see a lot of older kids' chances be messed up. So I can't wait till 2021. I'll be able to play and just get better. I just want to get better.
As you can tell from Michigan and Coach Erik Bakich, a great get. Now they just watch as this young man with a great mind, who had a very strong 2021 season, develops until his high school graduation. Let's shift from Michigan to Mississippi and go from the class of 24 to 26 and get to know Kevin Roberts Jr. You see, Kevin Roberts, we were well aware of his skill set, but then he hopped on the field at the 13U National Showcase and showed off an explosive arm. Then he took it onto the diamond at the 13U Select Festival. The future is oh so very bright by the young man, who was recognized by MLB because he was also invited to the Hank Aaron Invitational this year. Let's get to know Kevin Roberts Jr.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm from Meridian, Mississippi. I am 12 years old and I graduate 2026. I was at the 13U National Showcase, hit on the big stadium down there. I felt like I was a real major league player out there. I don't feel pressure being younger than anybody else. I've been doing it for so long, it just feel like I'm playing with my own age group and my own class. Starting from the outfield was like me practicing, and I just put it on the field and did what I did practicing. And no 12-year-old throwing it like that. I was just one of them to throw it, and I broke a record. I was shocked. Anthony Alfred, sometimes I'll just text him and tell him we can get some work-ins one day, and he'll just come out and do it. He played outfield, so he helped me with that. Some parts of my game I'm still working on is my fielding, my hitting, my speed. Like, I play multiple sports. We do athletic stuff, lifting, squats, deadlift. I just push myself to the limit where if I leave that field, I know I try my best. Something I would like to achieve in the future is make it to the major leagues, and if that don't work out, then maybe start my own business. I care about my grades and my family more than I do the sport.
What needs to be understood is he did all of this damage most of the time as a 12-year-old. Everybody out there was older than him, some turning as old as 14 years old. And at the freshman WWBA World Championship, very recently put together by Perfect Game, he hit a cool 500. And then, not too long after, you want to see athleticism? Check this out. Dunking a basketball just a week later, that's the man who baseball hopes they hang on to, Kevin Roberts Jr. When we come back, we go inside of two homes, and boy, were we fortunate to do it in July. Perfect Game Stories invited into the homes of two first-round draft picks. You're not going to want to miss this. This is PG Stories.
Perfect Game. On and off the field, it's a way of life. And now, that same passion, your passion, is represented in the brand new exclusive PG Gear and Clothing line. Designed with you in mind, the looks that you live in, whether during a sweat-soaked workout or a round of BP. Make your memories in Perfect Game gear. Thoughtful, comfortable, perfect for you. Visit shop.perfectgame.org.
We welcome you back to Perfect Game Stories. My name is Darren Sutton, and selfishly, this for me is the payoff. We had the opportunity on Draft Day 2021, MLB Draft Day, to go into the homes and draft parties of two incredible young men. San Diego-based Marcelo Meyer, a corner infielder, and Khalil Watson out of North Carolina. Remember, Watson was the very last player added to Perfect Game's 2020 All-American Classic roster. Player number 50+, and yet he played himself into the first round. Two incredible stories, two different parts of the country, and you are behind the scenes.
I'll say it's nothing different about today. You ready? It's just a blessed day for me and my family because it's the draft day. You only get one opportunity right here, so you might as well enjoy it. Just out here grinding my tail off, even on a big day, so. Yeah, my dad just helped me out tremendously, and my mom did too, with my work ethic. They made sure I'd be on top. Well, me and my dad, we're so close and so tight, man. You just don't know. As I grew up, I saw him play baseball, adult league. As soon as I was about to turn 14, I started playing with him. So you had college guys out there, grown men out there, high school guys, and one middle school, which was me. So it was just enjoying those moments and looking back on them and be like, wow, I got to play with my dad. My dad always tried me to be the best, whatever I do on the field and off the field, because my dad, he drives trucks and he barely be out here and always working.
Stick the baseball. Stick the baseball.
Khalil, what's up?
Doing a day in the life right now.
How you looking at Steph? I ain't tried on yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna look sexy.
High school shortstop from California, and Marcelo kind enough to join us live. Do you appreciate the attention you've been given since the age of 15? Because you have been on every scout's radar for actually a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. It's something that's super special, and not a lot of kids get to experience it. So
just to be able to be, mentioned by scouts is a true honor.
With the first pick, the Pittsburgh Pirates, we are projecting them to take Marcelo Mayer, shortstop, East Lake High School in Southern California.
Yeah, I mean, Mayer is the clear-cut #1 favorite in the class. I mean, he might be the most talented, but there's a lot of different avenues the Pirates could go.
But it looks like the Pirates have somebody else. You almost like to help on the Rangers.
What's up, Coach? What's up? Good, how are you? You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. What's up, son? God, dude, you're so big. Hi. Hi, Alyssa. I'm good, thank you. What's up, dude? What's up, bro? Good to see you, bro. Gracias por venir. Thank you. What's up, John? What's up, man? Buddy? Good, everything good? Yep, everything's good. Congratulations. Thank you.
First pick of the 2021 MLB Draft, the Pittsburgh Pirates select Henry Davis, a catcher from the University of Louisville. With the second pick of the 2021 MLB Draft, the Texas Rangers select Jack Leiter, a right-handed pitcher from Vanderbilt University. With the third pick of the 2021 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Jackson Joe, a right-handed pitcher from Heritage High School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The Boston Red Sox have the next pick.
Good things coming from us. Gracias.
With the fourth pick of the 2021 MLB Draft, the Boston Red Sox select Marcelo Mayer, a shortstop. With the 16th pick of the 2021 MLB Draft, the Miami Marlins select Khalil Watson, a shortstop from Wake Forest High School, Wake Forest, North Carolina. Red Sox, a storied franchise at number 4.
Thank you so much. It was great. It was everything I could have asked for. It's something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
Khalil Watson, your reaction going number 16 to the Miami Marlins. What do you think of that?
I'm grateful for it. Really grateful. It's unbelievable. You just don't know, bro. crazy. You know, I was waiting there, and you know, when I was able to hear my name, you know, all the excitement just left my body, and I started crying a little bit. So it was pretty special. I think it's every kid's dream to be drafted, and you know, I worked so hard for it, and I'm super excited. My family sacrificed a lot, so it means a lot. Good job to Prove It Game for hosting all these tournaments and showcases that, you know, it allows kids to put themselves out on the map.
If you be successful in anything and somebody is trying to get on you, be at you, come for you, success is the greatest revenge. My mom put that up there and she just repped it and repped it to me. You put in your work, you get good outcome to it. The next thing you know, dream coming true. Kahlil is out, my guy.
By the way, those were two very well-spent draft picks. No surprise, Meyer, the talented left-handed hitter, a 377 on base in his first journey with the Boston Red Sox. And the numbers for Watson were quite ridiculous. He had a 542 on base. He slugged .606, and nearly half of his hits were extra base hits. We want to thank the cooperation of all the athletes and their families throughout this year of 2021. We're excited for 2022 and even more stories, even deeper stories coming to their home and bringing their stories to you. If in fact the journey of the athlete or all this great content in baseball and softball at the amateur level is of interest to you, I know we all love it. We love telling these stories. Go ahead and download the app and do it on any of your smart devices. Perfect Game TV. Perfect Game Stories, the year 2021. My name is Darren Sutton, and this is Perfect Game TV.
Yeah. Hey, I'ma get right in my bag. Why you gonna try to get mad? I'ma sit right past. Drip all on my swag. Why you trying to size me up? You don't wanna try your luck.